Hello you guys. So we have arrived at the hotel yesterday. It's the next morning, of course. And we did gift exchange yesterday because I wasn't with my family at Christmas Eve. So we did it yesterday at dinner and it was really nice. A very chill dinner. We had like the buffet at the hotel. But on my way I had to go through London, and from London I had to go to Luton to meet up with my parents. And I actually listened to 2 books. Don't mind my lips. I have a stain on. The first one was The Lost Daughter, which is also being adapted into a movie on Netflix, I think, with Olivia Colman. And it was such a wild ride. I thought it was going to be a much different story, but it was more like a casual thriller fiction, or just something a little bit creepy about it, you know? Like you can't really put your finger on it, what it is. I liked it, but it did have an unlikable character. But I do really admire authors who can make an unlikable character likable, or just make you care for the main character, even though you know their actions are not really like what they're supposed to be, you know? You still care for them and you still want their story to turn out well. Like you don't want them to be caught or something. I had such a rough portrayal of motherhood and losing the sense of yourself. For me, that kind of seemed like a horror movie, you know? And then the other book I listened to was The Yellow Wallpaper, but the version I had actually contained also The Rocking Chair and Old Water, short stories by the same author. And what's sad is I really like The Yellow Wallpaper, even though it's like a crazy short read. It's probably less than 100 pages, and I think it portrayed such womanly issues, but in a way I would have never expected it to. But the other stories in the audiobook I didn't really enjoy, so unfortunately I did have to give it 3 stars because it lowered my rating so bad. Today we're gonna go to a couple of villages in the Cotswolds. Hopefully it looks nice because it is cold and it's winter, so obviously all the charm that comes from like greenery and nature is gonna be non-existent. I wish we had snow, but that doesn't really happen in the UK. Here's my outfit. I actually just got this for Christmas, so putting it to good use. I was going to put some necklaces on, but we're gonna be outside all day, so there is no point. So let's go exploring. So we're at Gloucester Cathedral right now, and this is where they filmed Harry Potter. And of course we don't support J.K. Rowling, but it's still a major part of all of our lives. And it's super cool to see it in real life because the halls look so amazing. They're very artistic and detailed. It's amazing to see it in real life, and it really feels like you're in Hogwarts and seeing where Harry Potter was. I really recommend coming here if you're in the Cotswolds or anywhere in nearby, really. So we've just been to Broadway and now we're in Chipping Camden, but we did a massive whoop because it's Boxing Day and nothing is open after 2:30 p.m. So now we don't have lunch, and also I'm vegan, so it was also another hiccup that we couldn't find vegan food for me. So now we're just kind of stranded in Chipping Camden looking at this church. It's pretty cool though. We're probably just gonna go back to Gloucester and see if we can find any food there. What did you get?
Chili chicken, fried chicken chili. Yum yum.
I got pancini noodles with vegetables. Looks yummy.
Wow.
Let's see. What did you get?
I got very tasty noodles and chopsticks, and I will start in a minute. Thank you.
So we are now officially back in our hotel. We had to cut our trip a little bit early because we got so hungry and we didn't end up going to Gloucester for lunch because it was just so far away. But I have to be honest, it wasn't what I expected from Broadway when we went. It's supposed to be like a very famous town, but I don't know if we just didn't explore enough, but it seemed like just one tiny road with just shops and very, very pricey, very pricey. It's like the most expensive town we've been to. The prices for food were like £40. But yeah, we ended up just going to like a food hall you just saw on the way home from the town we were in. And I'm about to read some of my book. Finally can sit down and read some. I'm gonna have a cookie, have some water. And yeah, that's basically it. We've just been to Combe village. It was pretty cute. We did kind of mistaken it for another castle we wanted to see. So we were expecting a castle, but the village was pretty cool to see. It did seem like a little bit of a fake village that tourists just see and visit and just try and replicate the old English vibe, but it was still pretty cute, but very touristy, like tourists everywhere. We had a coffee at one of the cafes over there and it was really nice inside. I'm gonna show how it looked in the inside, but to be fair, we were just in and there is so many tourists and but now we're going to Lacock Abbey, which is another location for Harry Potter. It has that like iconic hall vibe, and I know a lot of cosplayers come here to take pictures because it has that iconic vibe to it. So, very excited to see it. Now, what I'm really excited for is we're going to go to Bath. It is, as you know, a famous place. Not only was it very prominent in Jane Austen, but also in other books. And I'm really excited to see it, but also it has some locations that Bridgerton was filmed, and I love Bridgerton. Of course, how could I not? We do have to be speedy with it because it is 1:40 and it is winter, so the light is getting really quickly away. So we're chasing the sun. We were lucky we caught some sun in the Lacock Abbey, but we have to skip the Lacock village, unfortunately, because we're just not going to have enough time to see Bath in the sunlight. Pretty sad about that, but hopefully we see enough of it in the sun, all the important bits that I want to see.
You don't even know how it works.
We managed to go to the Jane Austen Centre, but we didn't really go inside the museum because the prices are pretty steep for just seeing the museum, so maybe I'll go another time. But we looked at the gift shop and they have such amazing things there. I really wanted the blue earrings and also the Anne Elliot's set. It looked so amazing and blue is one of my favorite colors, so it would just look so nice. But it was £44, so I decided not to get it. It's a shame we don't have more time in Bath because it's such a pretty town. You could honestly spend here like a couple of days easily, but unfortunately we only have this one afternoon. Very sad my mum couldn't make it, but she's very ill. She got ill on this trip and unfortunately couldn't come. But yeah, it was really nice to put the face on the name, you know, to Bath and to see what it really looked like. I have to say, the Lacock Abbey was a bit underwhelming after we went to Gloucester Cathedral, just because in Gloucester Cathedral we could have walked in every little corner of it and we were able to see so much, and even the courtyards themselves and the halls were much bigger and longer, and I feel like we just got to see so much more, whereas in Lacock Abbey we were able to see some of the halls, but the halls were much smaller. I think they're the more iconic halls because they look out into the courtyard, but we did have to pay £15 and it just felt a little bit underwhelming. £15 per person because it was just 3 little corridors, and then obviously they had all of the grounds and you could also go into the museum that they had, but it felt a little bit unrelated to the abbey itself because it was on photography, so I don't know, but we didn't really have the time to check it out, so obviously I can't really talk about that. It was still cute and nice to see and take the pics and just see it. Definitely very sad that we didn't have more time in Bath, and we kind of got lost and we didn't have signal there, so I couldn't look up anything or directions to anywhere or any shops, and we didn't know where food was, so we kind of had to settle for what we could find, and I only was able to find itsu for a vegan thing. And then when we were going back to our car, we found all of the food places in one place, and it was quite sad that we didn't see it before because we are all hungry. Am I regretting not getting the necklace or the earrings at the Jane Austen Museum? A tiny bit, but my dad did get me a special edition Sense and Sensibility. I am excited about that, and I did want to read it soon. I haven't read this one yet. I think I've only read Pride and Prejudice and Persuasion so far, so I definitely need to catch up on my Jane Austen. I also want to read Emma probably, but yeah, now I have the cute version. We also got the book vase for my mum since she couldn't come. Definitely need to come back and have at least a day in Bath, like a full day. Tomorrow we're actually gonna go to Oxford and have a little wander. We're not gonna have that much time there because my brother and his girlfriend have to go to Luton, and my boyfriend's coming to meet us there. So to see Oxford, we have 2 hours, but me and my parents have been to Oxford before, so at least we know what's good to see there. But excited to see it tomorrow. Here's my last outfit of the day, even though it's not going to be visible at all because I'm going to have a jacket, so it doesn't really matter, but I really love my necklaces. Of course, we had to come and visit the Babel location. That is the most famous location. It's the Oxford Radcliffe Camera Building. It's very pretty. I've been to Oxford before, but I mean, seeing it from the Babel perspective is something different. So it's really cool to see it in person after I've read the book. It's just awesome to see. Touching a bird, guys. I'm touching a bird.
Bro, and she's vegan. She's vegan.
Once again, we have a Christmas market. It's nice to visit in
fortunately,
Christmas time because we can see all the Christmas markets, but we don't have time to even visit them, so I guess that's kind of a shame.